is Demetrius Papatrianophyllou. I'm 42 years old. I was a chef in Colorado for 10 years. A lot of people ask me why, when I switched from cooking to blacksmithing, why they're so far apart. Just remind them that they're both playing with fire.
My name's Storm Richardson. I'm 26 years old. I'm definitely anxious. What are we gonna have to do? How can I do it better than everybody else? And when do I start?
My name is Dan Hurtado. I'm 46 years old. I'm here for the same reason that I got into bladesmithing in the first place, because it's fun, it's challenging, it's unconventional.
My name is Neil Kamimura. I'm 36, and I'm from Kailua Kona, Hawaii. Bladesmithing is part of my heritage. My great-grandpa was a blacksmith, and 8 months ago when watching Forged in Fire with my son, he asked me why I didn't do it. And the moment that I forged my first blade was the moment I knew that that's what I would be doing for the rest of my life.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the Forge. You're here to engage in 3 rounds of edged weapon making competition specifically designed to test every aspect of your capability, all in the pursuit of a title, Forged in Fire champion, and 10 grand. Let's go ahead and meet our panel of expert judges. AVS Mastersmith Jay Nielsen, Historic Weapons Recreation Specialist David Baker, and last, Kali martial artist and edged weapon specialist Doug Marcaida. Because this is Forged in Fire and we like to throw curveballs at people, in the first round of competition today, you'll be using these. Mining tools.
There's just a bucket of coal and mining tools. I hope we don't have to use both.
You also have those 2 pieces of 1085 steel on your anvils that you can use to forge those blades. So choose your mining tools wisely because all of these tools are made from different types of steel. In the second round, you'll be attaching handles to your blades to turn them into fully functional weapons that will then be tested for strength and durability in a coconut chop and for edge retention in a ratchet strap slice. All right, gentlemen, grab your steel because your 10-minute design window starts now.
Another pickaxe.
I mean, what would you have picked down for that table?
I would have picked the same thing, that flat blade. I know what it is, I can rely on it. Part of this challenge is picking the right steel, and they all chose the best steel on the table.
I'm gonna do my signature bushcraft style with a clip point on it. Never before have I used a mining tool, but the pickaxe is meant to dig through dirt, rocks, so it should be a high carbon content steel.
I plan on making a Sanmai clip point bowie. I picked this design because it's something I'm used to making. My professional background in cooking could help me win the competition. Food can burn very quickly. Steel's kind of similar, and you obviously don't want to overcook things.
I'm making a recurve camp knife because I think it'll perform well in the coconut chop and in the strap slice. I tend to be very careful and take my time and not rush things when I'm forging, but that strength may be a hindrance in a 3-hour competition.
I chose a kukri style shape because I feel like it'll do well in both challenges. I'm 100% self-taught, basically from watching Jay Nielsen's videos. In 8 months, I made 72 knives, and I'm here to prove that hard work will pay off.
Bladesmiths, your 10-minute design window is closed. Your 3-hour forge time starts now.
Like 4th of July in here.
We have the option of using 1085 carbon, but I'm gonna play it safe. I'm not gonna do a forge weld. It's still more beneficial for me to go with an unknown source of steel than to spend my time possibly doing a forge weld that might not have a good hardened spine. I'm definitely a very competitive person, so right off the bat, I'm just running around like a chicken with his head cut off. Welding! Making sure I accomplish all the things that I need to accomplish.
Storm is living up to his name right now. There is just a storm of activity around that guy.
I'm in a time crunch, so I'm running, and I'm getting things done as fast as I need to get them done.
Come on, baby, get hot.
Interesting. He's putting the whole pickaxe head into the forge.
My plan is to use the back spike as a handle. That saves me the trouble of having to go to the bandsaw and cut it off. I've got a built-in handle, why not use it?
I like to hope that he's going to try stretching one end of that pickaxe out, see how much he can get out of it.
I'm not gonna try and forge weld. I trust this steel better than I do my time management.
I chose to go with the 1085 inside the steel from one of the pickaxes into a nice, big, thick billet, forge welded.
Of all of our smiths, Dimitrios is the only one planning on doing a forge weld. Is it worth the risk?
If you know how to forge weld, those pieces of steel should weld up beautifully.
Oh yeah, should be no problem.
With the mild steel from the pickaxe, I created a V, like a slot where I could put my high carbon billet into.
He has inlaid the 1085 core into that sandwich construction.
Yep, metal taco, yeah.
Hopefully everything will go well.
My plan is whack the metal really hard.
Bladesmithing has changed my life because it's a way to channel all my anger, all my passion.
Kid's going after it, man.
Everything can pour into one thing.
My concerns is that I'm only using one metal, but I'm doing what I feel comfortable with.
Bladesmith, 30 minutes has already elapsed.
Going? Go, 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 go.
I wonder if Storm always moves at like this speed with this intensity.
I'm pretty sure he does.
After I've got the blade profile the way I want it, I start drilling holes for my dowels to go through. The bits are screaming. Oh my gosh. So 2 things are going on. Either the bit is very dull or my blade's already hard.
Storm, grabbing a new drill bit.
I've probably got 10 or 15 minutes into drilling one hole.
There he goes.
All right.
I'm loving this power hammer. This thing does in seconds what it would take me hours and lots of aspirin to do. I feel great. Woo! I let this get a little bit too thin. I'm gonna nip that off, make a rectangular billet, and then go to the hand hammer. As straight as it's gonna get. I've shaped it the way I want to using hammer and tongs. Now it's time to go to the grind. I'm doing my best to focus on my work, to not look at anybody else's. If I can be careful, not make silly mistakes, then I feel confident I can turn out a good blade.
I don't have a power hammer at home. I've never even seen one. I prefer to hammer shape it.
I just saw Neil pour water at the heel of his anvil. And every so often while he's hammering, he goes back to dip it in there. What's that all about?
That's a technique based mostly in Japan. When that wet metal strikes the hot steel, it blows scale off.
I remember my great-grandfather pouring water onto his homemade anvil and hitting it, and that's what symbolized the blacksmith to me. I'm gonna try and stand out by doing something with a little bit more of my style, which is more of an artist's approach.
Yeah, he's just marking that blade up.
I like it.
I'm trying to create something a little bit more artistic. I think straight lines complement curves.
He's putting some part of himself in there, the look.
Something that's a little bit more imperfect, but handmade.
I designed a semi-clip point Bowie, but I changed the design of my blade when I saw I wasn't going to get wide enough to be able to fit all the way over my billet.
Dimitrios doesn't have a whole ton of steel to work with there.
Now I'm making a drop point chopper or slicer, so to speak. I can make these changes on the fly. Now I'm ready to heat treat, get it in the oil, blow some smoke off. Nice little curve. Get it right back in there. Pull it out. There's another warp. And it seems to be getting worse with a twist.
I think the issue is that blade is so thin.
It's not gonna stay straight.
No.
I don't know what to do. Time's running out. Gotta get it straight.
Nope. Nope.
I can't get this warp out. I keep quenching over and over and over and over and over.
I give up.
Dimitrios is quenched again. This is the 8th time.
What is the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Time's running out. I'm tired of kicking a dead horse, so I decided to get the torches out and just do an edge heat treat. Quench it. Stayed straight. 9 quenches. Hopefully there's some carbon left in that steel.
Storm is just quenched.
Everything seems good, but there's a slight warp. I don't want to turn in a warped blade. That's just one reason for me to go home. If I do a 3-prong pinch in the vise, I might be able to take this warp out. I'm grabbing a torch, and I'm trying to get this thing back straight. Ha-ha! It's straight, and I just feel so relieved.
I'm getting ready to quench the blade. I'm nervous, I've got butterflies, the adrenaline's pumping. I've got tunnel vision. I can't see what's going on around me. Everything looks straight. I don't see any cracks. Thank you, Lord.
Neil's in the quench.
I really enjoy the fact of a knife being shaped about 80–85% of what its end result is going to be. But my biggest concern is that they don't like my style. Like it's a little too primitive or it's a little too unfinished for them.
Time is running out. I need to get this blade looking good. I'm a little worried about the thinness of my blade for being a chopper, to be able to go through a coconut. We'll see what happens.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, shut down your machines, drop your tools. Your forging time is over.
Whew. Time's up, and I'm feeling a little nervous about being critiqued by Jay Nielsen because he's someone I've looked up to.
There was some errors in forging the knife, but I've done everything I could do. At this point, it's out of my hands.
Bladesmiths, over the course of the last 3 hours, each of you has forged a blade in your signature style. Now it's time for the judges to take a closer look at your work. Neil, you're up first. Please present your blade to the judges.
Neil, I like watching you work this blade. My big issue is your handle. And this is extremely tiny. There's not going to be a lot to grip on. I'm going to be wailing away on coconuts. I need something I can hang on to.
I like the fact that you were trying to do a little artwork on this. I really would have liked to have seen that time put into refining the blade a little bit more.
Dan, you're up. Please present your work to the judges.
Dan, you did a nice job. You got a little bit of a bend in there, but nothing major. But again, we have a handle issue. Quite the opposite of the last one. You've got so much mass up in here. It's actually hard to get all the way around, and especially if you put any kind of thick scales on there, that could cause an issue.
I like the shape of that. It's a great utility knife. Maybe the handle's a little bit off, but it seems to be well within the range of a grinder. Good job.
Storm, you're up. Please present your blade to the judges.
Well, Storm, your name matches the way you work out there. I was getting exhausted watching you. Man, can you go. But you know what? I like what you did out there. One thing, though, there is that slight offset of your handle to the blade.
The issue I have is with scale. I don't know anybody with a hand that big. My hand wants to go into this forward well, and that leaves all that back there. Something to think about.
And finally, the man who set a new record for the number of quenches in the first round, Dimitrios Papatriantafayou.
Demetrius, I compliment anybody who comes in here, uses all the materials we give them, and forge welds. That was great to see. But you started with thin material, ended up with not enough, and you ended up with a blade that was extremely thin. And that could cause a big problem.
Well, Bladesmiths, that was a fantastic first round of competition, but as you all know, one of you has to leave the forge. So while the judges make that decision, I'm going to ask you to leave your blades here and please step off the forge floor. Thank you.
Oh, here we go.
Moment of truth.
All right, judges, let's take a closer look at our smith's blades. We'll start with Dan.
I really like that shape. A good camp knife, good hunting knife. But we get into this problem with handles where smiths just don't think about shaping their handle. It just needs to be adjusted before it's really comfortable in the hand.
Okay. let's move on to Neil's down there on the end.
It's a good-looking blade, man. That's gonna be a heck of a coconut chopper.
Thank you.
I like the overall shape of the blade. The one issue I have is his handle. When you put your hand around it, it doesn't feel comfortable. It feels like the blade wants to rotate around. But overall, he's got a great blade to that. If he can fix the handle issue, that should be a good blade to look at.
Okay, let's move on to Demetrios.
Go big or go home. He chose to use 2 separate steels to forge weld them together, but he didn't use enough. Because of that, he had to overgrind some stuff, and you can see that right here on both sides, especially with that warp he was chasing.
Big props for Forge Weld.
Oh, thanks,
I mean,
guys.
that's great.
Last blade is Storm's blade.
I like where Storm's going with this, but his hammer strikes and his grinding were very erratic. There's multiple dips, deviations all the way down this blade, and then he's got to move material on this side also for the warp and the handle, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to pull that off.
So you judges have a decision to make. Doug, have you made your final decision?
Yes, I have.
Dave?
Yeah.
Jay?
Yeah.
All right, let's go tell our smiths. The judges have completed their deliberation, and they've made a final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Demetrios, your blade did not make the cut.
Demetrios, you did a great job setting your forge welds up. The problem is quantity. You don't have enough material left to correct the issues. You've got the warp, you've got the issues with the crease on the other side, and there's just not enough there to fix it, so that's why we have to send you home today.
I understand.
Demetrios, you went above and beyond, but unfortunately, I have to ask you to please surrender your blade.
I totally agree with the judge's decision. They called it. I tried my best, didn't work out, so can't be sorry about that. No regrets.
Congratulations, bladesmiths. You've made it into the second round. Your blades have been tempered, and now it's time to turn them into fully functional weapons by attaching handles to them using the range of materials provided in our pantry. You will have 3 hours in this round. Keep in mind that after your time is up, your weapons will be tested for strength and durability in a coconut chop, for edge retention in a ratchet strap slice. Good luck, bladesmiths. Your time starts now.
Here we go.
I don't know what this swirly looking mess is.
I wind up choosing a large piece of some kind of 80s retro disco looking stuff. My goal is to have the handle on and let the epoxy start setting up as quickly as I can.
So, Dan, he's gonna go ahead and shape those scales to his tank. But UJ said that he need to reprofile that tank.
It's like it's one of my kids there. It's totally ignored everything we said.
I know right off the bat, the first thing I'm doing is start cutting steel.
Yeah, he's gonna lose a bunch of handle.
That's good.
With Storm's issue, you can really tell the blade and the handle are really offline.
You could actually put thick scales onto that handle and grind the handle off center and straighten your blade out that way. It's completely ridiculous, but it would actually work to get the handle in line with the blade.
What I need to do for this round is to take heed to what the judge's concern was. So I'm gonna shorten my handle and try and make my handle wider for a better grip.
He's cutting a large section off the back of his tank.
Nice.
Smart move.
My method will be to add a centerpiece as an inlay and then wrapping scales over both sides.
He's using a black micarta, which is tough stuff. And he's actually adding more body to the bottom of his tank. So that way he'll have more handle to work with.
Think that's a good plan?
I think it's a great plan. I like this sculpture.
I call this vice grip.
Bladesmiths, 1 hour has elapsed. You have 2 hours remaining to finish your blades.
Shoe shiny, buddy?
I'm definitely taking the judge's advice. I was concentrating so much on this chopping motion, I wasn't really thinking about what does it feel like when the blade is just sitting there. So I'm feeling good. I'm starting to sharpen it.
He's got tip up, it's gonna grab that belt. Stop, and let's not do that. If that tip is pointing towards the belt, it's gonna throw it out. Let's not do that. No.
Hey, do it again.
Hey, we need to kill that.
Oh, he just cut himself.
He's got tip up, it's gonna grab that belt. Stop, let's not do that. If that tip is pointing towards the belt, it's gonna throw it at him. No, let's not do that. No.
Hey, do it again.
Hey, we need to kill that.
Oh, he just cut himself.
All right, hold on. The medic just flew in.
Oh, wow. I cut my thumb pretty good, but that's not uncommon. Thank you, thanks. There's a little bit of me on everything that I make. I'm just making sure that the handle feels good in the hand. I think I'm gonna leave the blade alone and try not to cut myself anymore. Save that for the coconuts.
Now look, 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 look.
He's doing exactly what you said he was gonna do. So Storm is shaping the handle material around the flaws in his tang rather than straight the whole profile of the blade.
It's a little kooky.
I'm feeling pretty good. My handle's mostly shaped. I wasn't able to get the slight warp out of the handle, but I know that the blade is straight. So although it might change the cutting angle a little bit, it's a risk that I'm willing to take.
The handle looks a little bit rounded, a little bit like a broomstick.
You can't index anything that's round. What do you think, Doug, about broomstick handles?
Oh, they're great for broomsticks.
That was a good one.
I just wanted to test my edge on the wood. I figure if I can chop into a 2x6 without any dimples, then I should be all right on a coconut.
Now my epoxy is dried, and I'm gonna get started on finishing up my blade and shaping my handle.
I want to hand sand it, but I don't have time to do that.
He's right up around the neck of that handle again.
Hopefully it doesn't go right back to the shape he was at.
That'd be heartbreaking.
I feel like the handle is indexing well and is fairly balanced. I think it will do well in the judge's hands.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bladesmiths, drop your tools. This round is over.
Time's up. The real question is gonna be, what happened during the heat treat? How is the steel gonna respond? We'll find out.
Even though I wasn't able to remove the warp that I had in the handle, I'm confident that I addressed the other issues the judges brought to my attention. So it's up in the air. It could be anybody's game.
Bladesmiths, welcome to the strength test. You each get 3 coconuts, 1 shot each. Remember, this is not about what happens to the coconuts, it's about what happens to your knife. Neil, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. Jay is about to take the first chop, and I can't even breathe. I'm so nervous.
Neil, it chopped cleanly. It felt comfortable. Got a little bit of a curve to the blade, but you had that before. Your edge held up fine. Nice job, Neil.
Thank you. Being from Hawaii, if I had a knife that didn't cut a coconut, I would never hear the end of it.
Ready, Dan?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
I'm concerned that the thin edge profile of my blade might chip. If I can make it past the coconut chop, I'll be feeling good.
Dan, I was concerned because you have a much thinner edge here, but apparently dialed the heat treat in just right. You did take some of our advice by reducing some of this thickness here. I wish it had been a bit more because you have that bend in the blade that's not in line with my hand, but it held up tight. Nice job, Dan.
Thank you.
Storm, what are you thinking?
I'm nervous, very nervous.
Well, we're gonna do it anyway.
Yes, sir. I tested my blade out, but what I tested it on is definitely not as hard as a coconut exterior shell, so I'm just hoping it holds up. My heart's beating out of my chest.
Storm, we've got some definite edge damage, some chipping and rolling. I'm worried that all of that over-forging, continually heating, straightening, might have pulled some of the strength out of your blade. Your handle stayed tight, though. I appreciate the fact that you have, that little bit of belly on there. That helps me hold on to it. Didn't hold up 100%, but you still did a very nice job.
Thank you kindly.
To test the sharpness of your blade, I will take your blade and slash across these ratchet straps. Neil, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Okay. I feel extremely nervous because I'm not 100% confident that I got my blade sharp.
Well, Neil, it's nice that you made the little adjustments that we requested. Your little finger weld there did not get in the way. It's very smooth, but it feels good in the hand. Overall, your blade will cut.
Right on.
Good job. Dan, you're up next. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
I'm glad that it's Doug handling the knife instead of me, because my palms are so sweaty I wouldn't be able to keep a grip.
All right, Dan, let's talk about your blade. Your handle. I like the way it feels. It's got a good grip, nice finger swell right there so I can hold on to your blade. It's sliced nicely, it feels good in the hand. But when you look at it, you still have a slight warp to that. But overall, your blade will cut.
Thank you.
All right, Storm, it's your turn. You ready?
More than ever.
Let's do this.
The biggest concern for me at this point is I've got an edge that chipped and rolled a little bit. So if I don't get through all 5, I'm going home. I've got an imperfection that nobody else has. So at this point, if I don't get through all 5, I'm going home.
Okay, Storm, let's talk about your blade. It is one of the smoothest handles we've ever had from a second round. Good job on that.
Thank you.
Here's some of the issues, though. It's a small handle. When you're working with blades that are bigger than your hand, it becomes blade heavy. You start chopping and hitting around it, it wants to leave the hand because it's so smooth. Your blade here almost has serrations now. It grabbed onto the ratchet straps and cut all the way through. Overall, your blade will cut.
Waited a long time to hear that. Thank you.
Bladesmiths, the judges have made their final decision. It's time for one of you to leave the forge. Storm, your blade did not make the cut.
You know, Storm, your energy and enthusiasm in the forge was amazing to watch. I mean, you've obviously got a passion for this, and you produced a fine piece. But the forging and the heat treat on your blade just couldn't stand up to the strength test with those coconuts. So that's why we have to send you home today.
Completely understood.
Storm, please surrender your blade.
Would have been nice to go further, but it's the way the cards fell, and that unfortunately led to me going home. Failure isn't fatal, and success isn't final. It's the courage that counts. So I'll keep living by that motto and moving forward.
Congratulations, Bladesmiths. Your work has elevated you to the 3rd round of this competition. Now we're sending you back to your home forges so that you can recreate an iconic weapon from history. That weapon is the Cinquedea. Developed in Italy during the Renaissance, the Cinquedea gained popularity among civilian noblemen. This large, double-edged sword delivered lethal cuts in close-quarter attacks and was worn on the hip to be swiftly drawn in times of threatening encounters. Derived from the Italian word for the number 5, the name Cinquedea represents the blade measuring 5 fingers wide at the base, which became an excellent canvas for intricate artwork. With functionality in mind, swordsmiths also included fullers to lighten the weight of this otherwise heavy sword. Although the Cinquedea lost its popularity after the 16th century, it has recently made a comeback in the video game Assassin's Creed. Your weapon must be at least 4 inches at the base and tapered to a point. Both edges must be sharpened and include at least 2 fullers on each side. Your handle should have a crescent guard and pommel. After 5 days, you'll return and present your work to our panel of expert judges. Good luck, Bladesmiths.
Day 1 in Tallahassee. This is my first time working on a double-sided blade. Single-sided blade, you've got a lot more freedom in the geometry. But a double-sided blade, it all has to match. I gotta measure every tidbit. I want it to look nice, but also feel stable in the hand as you're swinging it. Boy, howdy, it weighs a ton. The advantage of this small pass-through forge is it's open at both ends, and I can heat the entire length of the blade, but it's not gonna work. It's losing heat because it's not very well insulated. So I gotta do something I had wanted to avoid, which is cut a hole in the back of my primary forge. It's time that I can't afford to lose.
We're here at my home forge in Kailua Kona, Hawaii on the Big Island. This is gonna be the most challenging thing I've made so far. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I'm using leaf spring that I got at a junkyard. I find there's a beauty in taking something that somebody would throw away and making it into something they keep forever. So I'm trying to incorporate the rest of this metal into an integral guard by bending these pieces down. I literally do everything by eye. I rarely measure anything. You know, so it's not gonna be this perfectly symmetrical piece, but it's gonna have the hand-felt look. They didn't do it back then on some machine. They were doing it by hand.
This acute swell is not comfortable in your hand. It's like the opposite.
Got the shape outlined. I got the fuller started. I'm excited to do this.
It's day 3. Having to cut a hole in the back of my forge took some time, but I feel like I made good progress on the blade. I've got it profiled the way that I want. Feels a lot better in the hand now. So now it's coming to the most challenging part, putting in the fullers. So I've got the blade in the mill, and the milling bit is just skating right over the surface. It's polishing, it's not cutting. So option B is to try freehanding it with a file, and the file is just dancing over the surface of the blade. So option C is to try to freehand it on the grinder. That just looks terrible. This is like a perfect storm of anxiety. Doing something for the first time that's very challenging. How to solve this problem. $10,000 on the line. So I use a smaller milling bit, and lo and behold, it just starts biting into that steel just the way I want it to. It's cutting a slot.
Smiths who are sneering at me for not forging them in.
Day 3, and it's hard to sleep because all I think about is this sword. I want to show to the judges that I'm not afraid of work and that I can accomplish something that I put my mind to.
It's the most important step.
I'm about to hit a heat treat. I couldn't wait to do it all day, and now that it's time, I'm scared because it could fail.
Worst case scenario, my blade could warp, it could crack.
And then I would have to start all over again.
No warps, no bends.
It was straight. File tested it.
It's hard.
So I'm happy. This is still a competition. It's not like the stress is off. Anything could happen at any given time.
It's day 4. It's time for the heat treat. My heart is beating fast. It's just this feeling, this culmination. It's the climax of the story. If anything is gonna go wrong, it's gonna happen now. As I'm watching it, I can visibly see it starting to curl over. If I'm gonna keep this blade straight, now is the time. Don't you do it! Don't you do it! Don't you bend! If I'm gonna keep this blade straight, now is the time. Don't you do it! Don't you do it! Don't you bend! Boys and girls, we have got a hard, straight blade. I'm happy, I'm relieved. Oh, I can finish now. Now it's just a matter of assembling the pieces, getting everything fit and finished, tight and square and sharp.
Day 5, this is it.
Just kind of messing with the guard a little bit to try and make it a little bit more fancy.
I'm feeling the pressure because David Baker and Jay Nielsen and Doug are gonna look at it extremely closely, and it's pretty nerve-wracking. But at the end of the day, I feel confident that my blade is strong, and I would take it to battle. What do you think? You think you could win? I hope so. My son Maddox and I would watch this competition, and now that I get to show him a sword that I made for the competition, We're both in a little dream right now.
You proud of your daddy? Give me a kiss.
Dan, Neil, you've had 5 days at your home forge just to work on your Cinquedea. Dan, how did it go?
There were a lot of challenges to overcome, but things fell into place. I tried to emulate the bone handles that they were typically constructed with by using white corian. I'm ready to see it put to use.
All right, Neil, tell us about your weapon.
I wasn't planning on making it this far, so I had to go to the junkyard and grab a bunch of stuff and put something together. I hope it works good.
All right, man, that's awesome. Now it's time to see how they hold up in our weapons test. Up first, the kill test. Doug?
The Cinquedea was used for civilian dress, but it served one purpose, to kill. I will take your weapon and deliver killing blows to this big carcass. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir. I'm a little concerned when I see how well constructed Neil's blade is, but I've got a 50-50 chance of winning. Either God wills it or God doesn't.
All right, Dan, on the backhand slash, cut all the way through and lacerated the ribs. On the other edge, it cut the spine in half. The balance of the blade makes it very wieldable in combat. Your weapon will kill.
Thank you.
All right, Neil, you ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. Okay, Neil, this is heavier compared to Dan's blade, but the edges are sharp enough to lacerate the spine all the way through. The base and the weight allows for a power slash. Overall, your Cinquedea will kill. Good job.
My son is going to flip out. He was just like, just make sure it kills so Doug can say it. So mission accomplished.
Up next is a sharpness test. We will test both of the edges of your blades by delivering a strike across these ratchet straps. Dan, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this. My hand will tend to choke up all the way to the guard. This weight distribution basically pulls the blade away. Definitely the sword on both sides is easy enough to slash through and deliver a slice that cuts through all these ratchets. Your blade, sir, will cut.
Thank you.
Good job. Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready.
Let's do this. The dimensions of your handle really fit my hand. Anywhere I go, it stays right where it has to be. Your edge easily cut through these ratchets on both sides. Your blade will cut. Good job.
Right on.
Next up is the strength test. Dave?
Gentlemen, to test the strength of your weapon, I'm going to chop into this ice block 4 times with each edge of your sword.
My heart just sinks. That was the one test I was hoping we were not going to have.
Dan, you're up. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I chose to go for mobility and sharpness rather than durability, so something bad might happen. That was the one test I was hoping we were not going to have. I'm concerned that something bad might happen.
Now the other side. Well, I don't see any chipping or warping, so the edge held up very nicely. That guard is so lean that as I'm striking, the blade wants to turn in my hand.
Okay.
But I did a good job. Nicely done. So Neil, your turn. You ready?
Ready. I'm so nervous because if you say that you can commit to coming to this type of competition and you can't live up to it, you're not doing what you're saying. For me, I take that really serious.
Now the other side. This is heavy. You see the Cinquedeas with the multiple fullers. And the purpose of that is to take that mass out of it. It's not balanced badly because you've got really thick tang on there. I see no damage. I can't feel any rolling. So it held up beautifully. Nicely done.
Thank you.
Dan, Neil, the judges have completed their deliberation, but before I tell you their final decision, they have some feedback for both of you.
Neil, the scale of your blade to your handle is just so dialed in. And even though it's a heavy piece, it feels right in the hand.
Thank you.
Doug?
Dan, the Cinquedea that you presented is beautiful, and it's very deadly. It's strong, it's sharp, and it will kill. Good job.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, you've both done fantastic work, but in this arena of competition, there can only be one Forged in Fire champion. Neil, congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion. Dan, unfortunately, your blade did not make the cut. David Baker will explain.
Dan, you brought us a beautiful piece, and I appreciate all the work that went into this. And this was a really tight decision. And what it really came down to was the connection of that handle to the blade and the fit of that guard, and how it turned in my hand when I was chopping that ice and kind of bit in. Those small things, those transition points, they can be a killer, and that's why we're letting you go.
I understand. Thank you.
Dan, it's that time. Please surrender your weapon.
I came here to win. I wanted to win, but Neil made something that was better. I'm going to go home, I'm going to go back to my life, and I'm going to go back to my craft. I still love bladesmithing.
Neil, you picked a hell of a way to tell the world that you're here. Congratulations, you are the Forged in Fire champion, and will be receiving that check for $10,000. What are you feeling right now?
It's overwhelming.
Great job.
My son is going to be ecstatic that I won. We've been watching this show on the couch last season to me being on it. Forged in Fire champion, that's me. So crazy.